So Danny, I guess we'll start with the blocked field goal, and did they time that up by Jake Bailey or the cadence? How did they do that?
Well, they did a great job. I mean, that's good stuff. I mean, whether it's, obviously we were on the wrong side of that one, but when you see stuff like that, that's a great play. It's perfectly timed, perfectly executed, big play by them. But then again, they did it again later, and so it was a great play by them. Give them all the credit in the world. Give the coaches, give the player, super stuff, exciting. Even though we were on the wrong side of it, but that's good stuff.
Why didn't it work the second time?
Well, again, it's a completely timing play, and if it's not 100% right, it's not going to work. It could be block, it could be offsides. There's such a large spectrum, and when it works, it's a fabulous thing.
So the solution seems to be changing something, anything, so that it's not exactly the same, and it makes it less predictable. But the problem might be that don't kickers and snappers and holders like everything exactly the same every time?
No, we're constantly varying things, so that's just part of the game.
So you don't think that had any impact on the miss?
No.
So do you see teams trying to copy that?
I think that you'll see teams look at it, but again, it's like, it's the risk reward. I think if you're willing to go for it, I think you may see it on more long down situations, so that if you are offsides, you're not giving away a first down, you're just giving away 5 yards of field position. Then you're looking at what's the history of the kicker, and based on what's the yard. So there's a lot of things that go into it. So again, they did a great job, good play. Do I think you'll see? I think you'll see some version of that, but again, that's just going to be part of the game.
How much is their history with Jake Bailey a factor in that?
Obviously, I think that has something to do with it. They know a lot of things about him, and it's whether it was, like I said, that particular play and that particular time was great. But like we play guys that we've played against, specialists, players. Guys are the same guys. There's subtle differences, and you work on things, and some things change. But it's like anything else. Guys are the same guys regardless of the jerseys they're wearing. So some of those things you work to change. Some of them you enhance. So that's just part of it.
Yeah, I know every field goal attempt is unique in its own. And I know we've asked you about this, but over the past 3 years, Jason is 4 of 13 on 50-plus yard field goals. I know you have all the confidence in the world with him, but at what point does it maybe become an issue, or is there anything that you've addressed during the week?
I'm not even close to that, so I don't know what that spot is, and I'm not. I'm trying not to think about that because I don't envision that, so I'm not. That's not even part of what I'm thinking and where I'm at.
That anything that sticks out to you, with the kicks.
We've gone through this, we've gone over this, and I understand the question. If it was a week in and week out in practice, and if there were just constant issues, and we would already come to your first question, but it's not. So. Again, we have great confidence, in Jason. That's a situation at the end of the game, a 55-yarder. The percentages of that versus the percentage of a 4th and 3 conversion. You look at the numbers and you say, do we go for the win with one of these, or do you punt and pin and try and play deep? So there's a lot of things that go into it. We played that percentage and we felt good about it. It didn't work out. Fortunately, the defense made the stand, and all we care about is winning the game.
You mentioned the percentages of that. I guess there's maybe some analytics involved. I guess was the percentages, because I was actually shocked that you guys didn't punt. Was the numbers? Was it actually in favor of kicking over punting in that situation?
No, we're in this to win the game, and we were trying to win the game. Whether it's offensively, Mike said it. We're trying to. If we convert on 4th down or we kick the field goal, the percentages of winning the game are very, very, very good. So we're playing to win.
Are there ever times where Mike says, "Can he make it?" and you actually, I don't mean just on Jason, I mean throughout your career, because in the movies the coach always says, "Did he make it?" and the guy never says no. So do you ever say, you know what, taking into consideration the wind, the field position, the spot on the field, we might want to pass on this one?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What percentage of time? Like 1%?
Well, again, you're
Over your career.
maybe once or twice a year.
Gotcha.
Does that come up? You know, but
The movies.
yeah.
He always makes it in
Well,
the movie.
and it's also, you know, it's Jason, it's me, it's the situation. There's a lot of things that go into it, you know. But you know, again, if we can find a way to win the game, and that's what it comes down to is, you know, how the game's going offensively, defensively, kicking game, and then this thing before you get to the weather, the field surface. So there's a lot of things. But yeah, there's a couple times a year that'll be like, you know, there is a better option, even if the numbers, you know, slightly favor A, you may go with B or C.
I'm sorry to belabor the Jason thing, but in your mind, as a long-time established special teams coach, what is the reasonable expectation for the percentage of that NFL kickers should be able to make from 50-plus yards over the course of the season? 50%, 60%?
Well, and you talk about those numbers. Each yard, it changes, you know, drastically. You're talking about a 78 to a 60% when you move the ball 4 different yards. Like, you know, so you go 51 to 55. You're talking a pretty big swing. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But again, anytime we send Jason out on the field, we feel very strongly about him making the kick.
Is that because in practice he continues to make the vast majority of long ones?
Correct. Or not long ones, ones. Not long ones, all of them.
Danny, real quick, I'm not looking for a strategy answer here, just kind of a theory. You guys don't have any kickoff returns. Devon A-Chain is eligible to be back there. What does he do well? Why would he be back there if he is? I mean, speed or hands or whatever.
But, I mean, number one, he's got a history of it. You know, so he's done it. You're not teaching him something new. And then you couple that with he's a very talented individual. You know, he's got explosion, he's got power, he runs hard for not a big stature player, and then he's got home run speed. So, you know, he's got history, and then he's got great talent, which is, you know, why he's here and why we're so excited to have him both in the kicking game and offensively.
Coach, back-to-back weeks now, you've had big punt returns lead to splash plays on the following play. And last week it looked like you had a return on to get the Berrios 18 yards. I think the Chargers gave more pressure, forced a high punt. How do you decide whether or not you want to go return or pressure in those backed up punt situations?
Again, that's a lot is tied into, you know, who we're playing, you know, what the history is of the punter, the coach, the elements. So there's a lot of things that go into that, you know. Again, if we can get great field position one way or the other and the offense is able to respond, you know, you get 2 good field position plays back-to-back weeks and we're able to convert it immediately into points, that's great complementary football. You know, the defense gets the stop to pin them back, we're able to convert, get good field position, and the offense is able to score. And when you're able to do that, your chances of winning are pretty good.